So thank you and good morning, all of you. When Diana asked me to give this presentation, I was delighted and very glad to give the presentation and recap all the Congress. Now, during these days, I asked myself what I can tell them that they don't know, or maybe it will be more useful for me to listen to each of their experience. Because really, in your daily activity of IFOTES, calling and speaking with people, you had a huge experience that has to be shared also with the people outside, as Diana said before, outside the network and also in the civil society. But as well, I tried, since these days have been really rich in inputs, ideas, innovative issues regarding resilience, I tried to recap and put the key elements and the keywords that I saw important or that struck me for some reasons. So we are going on in our life trying to find the missing pieces and complete the puzzle. This is the beginning because each of us has this kind of history, I think. And then I will go back to this picture to conclude all the presentation and the speech. So we try to find all the pieces for the whole picture, the whole framework, but we have to do it in the middle of the chaos. As we heard from the first keynote speaker, we are living semi-permanent crisis, financial crisis, bank crisis, migration crisis, corona crisis, energy crisis, biodiversity crisis, but especially moral crisis. And this is defined also as this VUCA word, which is characterized by volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So this is caused mainly by the imbalance between human and nature. And what we need is a systemic change in our activity, in our society, with all these palette of transitions, as Professor Rothmans explained to us. As I said, a systemic change is needed in policy, technology, and behavior, especially in behavior. And he defined this into integral consciousness, because between understanding and acting, we need the feeling society, feeling what we can do. And the integral society is an integral consciousness. At least 5% of the global population should have reached this level of consciousness, and is using consciousness not only for introspection, but for targeted action, overcoming fear and looking for authentic and connecting leadership, and look inside and start with yourself, and connected two different words, spirituality and activism. So knowing better ourselves to be more active also in the society. And for this, to do this, we need also to understand what resilience is. And it's very difficult to define resilience. It's not easy because it is a continuous system-level property. Resilience is actually a verb. We are always resiliencing if we think also of all the challenges we are facing. Resilience starts from within, but is also about jumping together. And there are a lot of challenges in promoting resilience. You see demographic change, urbanization, climate change, vulnerable groups, health inequities, these the so-called whole of government, whole of society, health in all policies approach, the emotional and relational health, which is what you are dealing with all the day. And this is also where our networks, Diana mentioned it before, WHO Healthy Cities European Network and the IFOTES network can join together the forces to achieve goals and to promote healthier and happier cities for all. And this is, we also heard that these days, especially from Professor Grimatz, this concept of evolutionary dynamic resilience. So resilience is not a static concept, it's a dynamic process of recovering and bouncing back better. And to do this, we need intersectoral, interinstitutional, multi-risk, and holistic approach. And the key aspects we should consider, both in when interacting with each other, but also when we act in the civil society, is the strong bonds of people, so family, friends, voluntarism, if people are alone, but also weak bonds, for example, superficial relationships, social media, and so on. And all we can do to promote social networks within the community. You see, we are involved in all these systems, and what we can do is to take the chance of change. I took this example of two disasters in Haiti and Japan, and you can see the difference in the Human Development Index. So what resilience? It's to have space for change and transformation, but we have to take the time we need to change and to transform ourselves. And also leave space and time for the whole process to be ready, bend, transition, and then return back better. So build resilience, to me, means to develop a sense of a direction, understanding, courage, charity, esteem, self-confidence, self-acceptance, evolving self, and transcend self. What does this mean? So it means to promote different arts and culture and sports and physical activities, social recreational opportunities, contact with nature, everything that makes feel the people better. And also to develop awareness of our complexity as human beings. So I've reported, you can look then at the slides, I've reported also some information regarding the functioning of our mind. So we have this somatic cognitive system, but also the visceral emotional system that interact together. And some neuronal networks are determined genetically, but the majority are formed through learning. So experience can really shape our human brain. And also the awareness of the complexity of the word. I take the example of language. Language has always been used in history to tell stories, to communicate with each other, and it can be very useful, but at the same time, it can also lower our level of consciousness if it is used badly. And this is an example. I cited this quotation. In the beginning, it was theater. Then it became a workshop. Now it is a place where I hope I can be true to myself. It is the encounter, going one to another, laying down one's arms, not being afraid of each other, in nothing. And it matters little that you can call it a workshop. It matters little that you continue to call it theater. Such a place is necessary. If the theater did not exist, another pretext would be found. So this is also where we are. We are in a workshop, but the important thing is the relationships we are building, not the workshop in itself. So we have, of course, to tackle loneliness and social isolation. We have to promote, as we saw also in these days, we have to promote play, because it is a serious thing. It can facilitate the development of social competencies, emotional capacities and resilience, creativity and problem-solving skills. It is of vital importance for the healthy development of children, since it offers physical, emotional, cognitive, and social benefits. And it is also extremely beneficial for people of all ages, so not only children, but also older people. And this is an example of how we can promote social relationships and intergenerational activities. Then we have to mix up our knowledge and experiences, and not forgetting human qualities when we assess the capacities and the skills of older people, young people, or people of any age. Soft skills are as important as technical skills, probably even more. And this is an example, and Diana described it before. So making good use of technology. So we have heard that technology can create illusion, projection, idealization, building another idealized self to be another one. So what we have to, because of course of reduced social cues, temporal pressure, multitasking, and whatever. So we have to use technology in a good way. And we also heard about the harmful effects of technology, especially on children. You can see them, behavioral problems, memory loss, aggressive behavior, or social isolation. So what we can do is to change, to use technology in a good way, but then also use social relationships in a good way. And this means to me also trying to help people to shift their perspective by looking at mistakes as opportunities to improve. And then also give positive examples. We heard the example of Mark, and I really thank him. I don't know if he's still in this room, but I thank him because it was really a positive, incredible example for all of us. So this sentence also made me think of the importance of his experience. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the more intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So here is another quotation, and I don't have so many slides yet. So this is also what IFOTES means to me. To be a thread of a larger garment, perhaps this is the ultimate meaning of my being. To be myself without confusing my specificity as a thread different from every other. And at the same time, however, to join other threads. Because a thread only makes sense if it joins other threads, just as a note only makes sense if it joins other notes, just as a letter only makes sense if it joins other letters, and thus forms words, and then sentences, periods, perhaps even short stories, novels, poems. To be oneself, but also linked to others. Like the A remains A, but if between two A, as I insert an M, I have found the possibility of saying how my wife thinks of me. And I have given meaning to two A's that otherwise alone would not have had it. So the A and the M and the A in Italian means ama and means love. And so this is how it expresses, this is a philosopher from Italy, how it expresses the sense also of language. And this is also make think to me to this physical phenomenon, probably you heard about it. It is always attracting me a lot. It's the quantum entanglement, and it is explained as the two subatomic particles that link to each other even if they are separated by billions of light years of space. So despite their vast separation, a change induced in one will affect the other. So these two particles, even if they are separated, they can influence each other for the rest of their life. So this is also what I think you do when you reply to a call of IFOTES. And this is also a representation of what we heard, because life is a state in between existence and non-existence, but in the middle there is possible space, and we have to use this space because it is the space where our power to choose is available, so where we can choose what we want to do. So, to conclude, no matter if we do not find all the missing pieces of this puzzle, because this is a quotation by Jung, so know all the theories, master all the techniques, but as you touch a human soul, be just another human soul. So I think you have just to be what you are and share and witness what we are doing in the civil society and communities. Because you can touch a human being also even with a special look at him, with a special gaze. So this is just what you need, and what we need is hope for the future. So thank you for your attention, and thank you, IFOTES, for all this incredible work. Thank you.